YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Carl coming back at you from Golden Grimmick Productions. On this episode, we are going to be reacting to NBA legends and players explain how scary good prime Reggie Miller was. If you are new, please like, share, and subscribe to the video. I greatly appreciate it. It helps me out tremendously. Let's get straight into this video.
aka Yangala, and before there was a Stephen Curry and a Ray Allen, Reggie Miller was often regarded as the greatest shooter of all time. And it's actually crazy how underrated he is. Because when you look at his stats, it might not be the most impressive thing for a Hall of Famer, but that's what made Reggie Miller so special, because it goes beyond that. Like, him just being on the court is a threat, because he don't even need the ball in his hands to be effective. And what makes him extremely hard to guard is when he's running full speed on off-ball screens. And trust me, he will do this all game. And once you get tired of running through the screens in the fourth quarter, that's when he kills you. And to add on with that, he's going to talk trash to you. So just having that type of player that can run around constantly, drawing attention away from whoever has the ball, has a huge impact on the other team's defense. Every team will love to have that type of player. And that type of stuff don't get shown on the stat sheet. And Ray Allen even said that Reggie Miller's the greatest shooter of all time, even though him and Stephen Curry pass him up on the all-time three-point list. And he basically said that without him, we don't have the formula. So anyways, man, we're gonna listen to NBA legends and players talk about how scary good prime Reggie Miller was. But before we get straight into that, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the culture so you won't be missing any of my videos. And let's get to the vid, man.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
That's good. It's gonna be bad, I know.
You know it.
I knew that coming in. Okay.
Reggie Miller is one of the best pure shooters that I've ever played against. It's hard to guard him, coming off screens. You know, he could also put it on the floor and take it to the basket. That's what they don't talk about a lot, but his jump shot was one of the purest I've ever seen. A little unorthodox, it looked really funny, but he would make them. You don't ever want to leave him. He was a good athlete, and at 6'7", he had the length and the height to shoot right over most people. And it didn't take him long to get that shot off. You know, when you see a guy shoot the ball that quick with that much accuracy, I think of Reggie Miller.
Well, anytime you have a great scorer that is an opposing scorer, your game plan defensively is around that guy. How do you slow him down? How do you stop him? And Reggie was no different than any other great player. You had a game plan. How are you going to slow him down? How are you going to stop him? How you keep the ball out of his hands by trying to deny him, but he'd move so well without the ball, it was hard to stop because he never stopped moving.
He's one of the great adversaries that I ever had to coach against, and you know, I knew that when I was coaching against him that I had nothing but respect for him. But Reggie is absolutely one of the all-time greats. I mean, when you talk about his kind of game and how he played, there were only one or two other guys, you know, in the same circle.
It's unfortunate too. Like when I think about like Reggie Miller, all-time great that I think would have won a championship if he didn't have certain players in each era that he was playing in. When he came into the league, he had to deal with Larry Bird and them, and at that time they were champions already. By the 90s, he's one of the few that pushed Jordan to a 7-game series. And then finally, when he made it to the finals in 2000, he ran into Kobe and Shaq. It's like he couldn't catch a break on any level, you know what I'm saying, no matter where he was. But all-time greatest shooter, one of the greatest shooters that ever played the game. So
the next thing that he brought to the table, he loved the big moments. He loved the big games. He loved the playoffs or the big marquee matchups against his arch rival, whether it was Michael Jordan or somebody, or the Knicks. He got up. The bigger the game, the bigger Reggie Miller would perform and play, the better. And this guy was just unstoppable.
Reggie was so clutch, you know, he wanted the ball in his hands, and he had a unique ability to draw fouls. So he's always able to keep the defense off balance because he was such a great free throw shooter. You don't want to get your hands caught and foul him. So he created space, and that's all he needed was a little space to get that shot off. And it seemed like he was a higher percentage shooter with the game on the line than he was actually probably during the middle of the game. And as an opposing player, I really didn't like him too much. And that's a compliment because out of respect, and he would get under your skin. But when I became his teammate, I loved playing with him. He was one of my favorite teammates of all time.
Reggie
he sees himself as an actor. So naturally, when he gets on Broadway, he wants to perform.
There's Miller, swings away and hits. Reggie Miller is on fire.
I don't like the Pacers. Still don't like Reggie. You know, we get along now, but you know, every now and then when I see him, I still want to smack him.
When we were in a close game and the ball was in his hands, the Pacers were in good shape.
He was a warrior while playing. I mean, he took on, and sometimes he just took the team on his shoulders sometimes, and he made us better by him working as hard, and you didn't want to let him down by doing anything less.
He was amazing. Even when he retired, I think he could have played another 5 years. His body, you know, people used to say he was thin and weak, not tough. He was strong, tough, and competitive.
Playing against Reggie and coaching Reggie and knowing his personality, Reggie's hit more shots in crucial times than about anybody I've ever seen. Being elected to the Hall of Fame is the ultimate. It's the icing on the cake for everyone. It's a great honor.
And I think Reggie already being the player that he was and having Larry as a coach, a big shot maker coaching a big shot player. Yeah. It was a matchup made for them. I just wish he would have got a championship, which some players are unfortunate to do. Like I said, he just ran into some tall tasks in a few teams, you know what I'm saying? He had a few chances to win a championship. Just ran into some juggernauts at that time.
I think everybody respects Reggie because he came out and played hard every night. People always talk about how Michael Jordan came out and played hard. Reggie came out and played just as hard.
He's the greatest clutch shooter I've ever been around and one of the greatest competitors I've ever been around. The way he played and conducted himself, it was no fluke that he lasted as long as he did with one franchise.
The most amazing thing about Reggie Miller is he's got some of the most iconic basketball shots in NBA history. His legacy is he lived for the big moment, and he made a lot of big moments.
So Reggie Miller, you and I, we talked about a couple months ago, and you had mentioned that Reggie Miller was a tough guy to guard because of off-ball, and he just never stopped moving. So talk about guarding Reggie and how you prepared for a guy like him.
Well, with Reggie, you know, you have to stay locked in. Like if you lose sight of him or you lose focus on him, he's gonna bang you up very quickly. You know what I mean? 2 or 3, 4 threes in a row, you know? And so my mentality with Reggie is gonna be, we had our own separate game. I'm guarding you, and those other 8 guys, they're gonna be playing basketball.
Right.
But I have you, you know? And that was my mentality, not to let him get going, because once he get going, or any player in this league get going, you can't shut the water off.
Hey, let's just say this. I know this video's about Larry, but Starks looks good for his age for sure. Like he looks phenomenal for his age. That's what I'm saying. He look real good.
Right. You know, especially with him, because he has a different mentality.
So you were just in a bubble? You didn't even see the other stuff?
No. I literally, it could be, you know, a rebound come right there. I'm like locked into him. You know what I mean? You have to have that mindset with Reggie, because I can remember the game 1, where he scored those points in that many seconds.
Right, 8 points. And
8 points, yeah. And so I got him on lock. Then we made a sub, and bam, he hit a shot. I was like, I'm sitting on the bench like, are you for real? I mean, he was on lock.
Right.
Because he just,
right.
And by the time I got back in, he was on fire. It was too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was already talking to Spike.
Spike, and he was just in this whole mode, because I've been in that mode, and I know how it is. And it was just too late. Yeah.
So you and Reggie, I mean, that was the rivalry.
Yeah.
Knicks fans knew it. Pacer fans knew it. Back then, was there a real rivalry to you guys too? I know the fans had rivalries. We didn't like Reggie.
I didn't like him either.
Okay.
No, I didn't like him either at that time, because, you know, back then you had to earn your stripes.
Right.
As a player, as a rookie coming into this league, you had to earn your stripes. Nothing was given to you. It's a little different now, being a young player, but back then, you literally had to pretty much fight your way into this league. And so some guys probably give you a pass that you're playing against.
Hey man, what I say, let Reggie sold the headbutt. Reggie sold the headbutt, dog. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, he sold it. Boy, that's a flop if I ever seen one, but he sold it, bro.
And some guys don't, you know what I mean, because they didn't get a pass.
Right.
And so Reggie was one of those guys, you know what I mean? He didn't get a pass. He literally had to be tough enough to play in this league because obviously he's 6'8", but he wasn't built.
Right.
You know what I mean? So people didn't think he was tough enough to play in this league, and they would come at him. But he proved that he was tough enough to play in this league. He passed the test. And so, but I'm me coming up and finally getting my opportunity to, you know, really prove myself as a starter in this league. Reggie was like, okay, you know, let me test this man and see if he's tough enough to really be in this league or play at this level. And I had to prove that.
Right.
You know, I had to prove that. And I had proved that many nights against different players. Reggie wasn't the only one. I had to go against a lot of other guys and prove myself.
Right.
And so, but once you get past that, the respect is given, you know. And so, unfortunately with Reggie, I had to like get a little physical in order to get that respect. And but me and Reggie, you know, after that, you know, a headbutting incident, we had no problems throughout the rest of my career.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so we just played basketball. But up until that point, you know, he used to try to come at me and, you know.
So I hope y'all enjoyed the video and tell me what.
Man, look, I love watching Reggie. I was a fan of Reggie Miller's. It was just unfortunate he went against my actual favorite player, Kobe, in 2000. But if I had to pick shooter, like bro, I'm telling you, if I'm picking 4 shooters, I don't even pick 5. If I pick 4 shooters, I'm picking in no particular order: Larry, Curry, Reggie Miller, and Ray Allen. Bro, them are my 4. I guarantee with those 4, they can win almost any 3-point shooting contest. They'll outshoot anybody with those 4. And I'm pretty sure universally those 4 are at the top of the Mount Rushmore of shooters. But I've enjoyed this video, man. It's been your boy Carl from Golden Green Productions. Until the next video, peace.